Start recording.
You good? Okay.
All right, we are recording. Good afternoon. It's Thursday, June 18th. This is A Course in Miracles according to the Advaita, which is the non-dual teaching that we're all familiar with. So we're looking as we read through A Course in Miracles, and we're on chapter 8, which is page 316 of the Circle of Atonement book. We're on paragraph 6. We're on page 316, paragraph 16. So that's where we are. I will ask us to just kind of settle in here and be where we are. No other place to be. Just sink in and know yourself welcome here. It's been a while since we've been together, it feels like. So just breathe into the space around you. Breathe out into the space and breathe the space in. And we can together set the intention that what is brought to this table is for our highest good at this time. And to recognize that we're in service to each other and to the true self, which is what we are. The impulse comes together, the quality of how we are together, how we talk. This is our gift to the world. The purpose of every gathering is discovered in the gathering. It's to recognize beauty and to love what is beautiful. And always the truth is beautiful. We allow conversation to arise out of every particle of our being. It is all alive. Come to this empty table, a cleared space where something new can happen. When we take the hands of those we love, what do those hands become? So let's take each other's hands across time and space. And be together. During an earlier meeting today, it came to me that consciousness itself is love. And that hit me in a new way and allowed me to see more clearly that every thought and every feeling that arises in consciousness is just love. no matter what it looks like on the outside or no matter how it feels on the inside. So as we read these words and we talk about what they mean, and feelings arise within us through the reading, let us hold what arises in our awareness with the love that it is. There's a lot in 16, 17, and 18, and we'll see how far we get with it. I've read it a few times, and it's so funny. Every time I read it, I underline something different. I know you're all familiar with that. It's just so delightful and amazing to me, the way that that happens. So what I'd like to do is start out with Mr. Hunter reading, and then we'll see who wants to read after that. I may just ask somebody to read, and then we'll talk about it. I have things in each paragraph underlined, so I'll bring something that stands out for me, and then we can all share what stands out for each other. So,
What do
you
you
know
want? How
what?
much do you want me to read to start?
Yeah, we're on the exact same wavelength. Chuck, why don't you finish this section? So read 16, 17, and 18. Would
16,
you?
17, and 18?
Yeah, if you can,
I will
if
if I
you're willing.
can.
Okay,
Uh,
we're with you.
Here we go. Whenever you see another as limited to or by the body, you are imposing this limit on yourself. Are you willing to accept this when your whole purpose for learning should be to escape from limitations? To conceive of the body as a means of attack of any kind, and to entertain even the possibility that joy could possibly result, is a clear-cut indication of a poor learner. He has accepted a learning goal in obvious contradiction to the unified purpose of the curriculum and is interfering with his ability to accept it as his own. 17, joy is unified purpose, and unified purpose is only God's. When yours is unified, it is his. Interfere with his purpose, and you need salvation. You have condemned yourself, but condemnation is not of God. Therefore, it is not true. No more any of the results of your condemnation when you see a brother as a body. You are condemning him because you have condemned yourself. But if all condemnation is unreal, and it must be unreal because it is a form of attack, then it can have no results. Do not allow yourself to suffer from the results of what is not true. Oh, I think I have one. I gave that an underline note in there. Sorry that that cough was coming. Okay. Free your mind from the belief that it is possible. In its complete impossibility and your full awareness of its complete impossibility, lies your only hope for release. But what other hope could you want? Freedom from illusions lies only in not believing them. Where are they without your belief? There is no attack, but there is unlimited communication and therefore unlimited power and wholeness. The power of wholeness is extension. Do not arrest your thought in this world, and you will open your mind to creation in God.
Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome. Happy to
So,
be a little help.
did anything stand out for you, Chuck,
Uh,
besides all of it?
well, a lot of it did, but I was trying not to focus on I could kind of do because then I mess up losing my lines and stuff. So I didn't put as much contemplation into it as I might when I'm not when I'm reading it again on my own.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna,
thought I would just ask and see if there
yeah.
was. What I'd like to do,
I guess the most part that sticks with me just from memory is uh, it's unreal and don't get caught up in letting yourself fall for the unreal. I don't know if that's
yep,
appropriate or not.
yeah, yeah. Um, Thank you for that. What I would like to do with your permission is go through each one of these paragraphs with a little bit more and just focus on what really pulled me in, and then just, anything that you have to say, just raise your hand or just join in, and we'll take it from there. So the first line in 16, whenever you see another as limited to the body or by the body, you are imposing this limit on yourself. Now, I think it's interesting that they said to or by the body, right? This is so they're really emphasizing this. And then the next sentence, are you willing to accept this when your whole purpose for learning should be to escape from limitation? And when I read those sentences, especially the second one, I recognized within myself this innate desire for freedom. And And it just struck me that my whole purpose for learning is to be free. It's to be free. And yet, here we are in these bodies, so, having the experience of being in the body every day, all the time. Mel, were you going to say something?
Yeah, well, it just occurred to me. I was speaking to someone, and we got on the topic. Her birthday was coming up, and so of course she starts gets into the conversation of aging, getting older and blah blah. And I wanted to kind of counteract that and question her about that, and saying, are you really, do you really want to accept that this is who you are, this body is all you are, and isn't there more? And because that's such a limitation. You can see how the body can be just so limiting. Like, are you going to, is that the end of you when your body dies? And just, this was, kind of shocking to her in a way, but that is such a pervasive conversation about everything, aging, look younger and all of this to try to look. And we were talking about some actress that was trying to look so much young, Marlo Thomas or whatever, and how.
Yeah.
But anyway, it shows just such an emphasis on the body, and I think it's really important to question that as much as we
I,
can. This does.
yeah, and I had a conversation with somebody last night, and what's coming to me as you're talking is that most of us, if we don't think we are a body, then we don't ask, well, what am I really?
Yeah.
And that's where the non-dual teachings really come in for me, because my mind needs to have some place to go. If I'm not a body and I'm not these thoughts and I'm not these feelings, where do I land?
That's right. It's very discomforting if you don't think there's anything else there. That,
Yeah.
yes.
And so as I was saying this morning, I had this conversation with this man last night who's a, a wonderful person, but he had no clue what the consistent experience of pure being was. He did not understand the sense of I am. He had experienced it, but he didn't realize he was experiencing it. And I remember when Rupert Spira really taught me it's so close that we overlook it. It's so transparent. It's so simple. And it's always with you. And it's something that we overlook because we just are so pulled in by the external excitement that we never go in and realize that there is an awareness that has been consistently with us, unchanging since our first memory and before that. And so when we read this, I think it's really important to have the non-dual understanding that there is an inner awareness and an inner consciousness that is beyond the body, that truly is our center and our foundation. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So in the second paragraph, it says joy is, or the I'm sorry, paragraph 17, joy is unified perfect purpose, and unified purpose is only God's. What do you think about that? How does that relate in your experience?
It makes me feel a little guilty and inadequate because the one thing that I've experienced is happiness and serenity and stuff, but I've always been kind of feeling like I was lacking in joy. So I, I get feeling like, I'm missing something because that's the key part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Joy is unified purpose.
Isn't that like surrender, total surrender of self? And when you do that, then there's just being, just enjoying now.
That is exactly it.
That's
And
what I find it, Julie.
that's exactly it, because unified purpose is only God's. Right. So the joy comes from the complete surrender to what is. Right. Carol, good to see you.
Great to see you and all of you.
I,
Um, Unified purpose.
Mhm.
So, what's purpose?
That's a good
And it's,
question.
yeah, like purpose is there just is all that is. Purpose is just, I mean, we can say it's for love and peace and joy, but purpose there's no particular purpose because there's no particular limitation to what is, or there doesn't appear to be one.
I would say yes, it doesn't appear to be one because our mind can't contemplate it. You
Exactly.
know, it's
Yes.
so vast. It's so vast. So that's where we get to Mel's surrender, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there's such joy in that. Uh, it's just what is. And as Chuck said, also, I, I've lost my train of thought, but it's just what is, and the knowing that I don't always know what everything is for, because the one thing is everything and nothing in particular, and arisings and changing and falling, and I'm sorry to go on, but that brings me back to Amy when you were saying initially, so where do we land if we're not the body? Like, and there is no landing. And that is the most initially scary. I don't know how to describe it when there's no landing
Is it,
until it, yeah.
yeah. So is it possible that the only landing is the certainty that I am?
Mm, yeah. And that isn't even an experience.
Yeah.
The inherence, the essence of that is not even experiential. And then at rest, if you want to say that, and then being of that is experiential. But knowing that the experience is aspects of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there's just no landing.
Hmm. Well, I'm going to ask May if she would expand on her comment because I think it's related to what you're saying, Carol. And if you two want to have a dialogue, that's fine with me. But May, would you expand on your comment, embodiment of what we come to understand?
Yeah, I think when we still the mind for long enough and we kind of bathe, we submerge ourselves in the teachings, there's this looping that happens, like in the face of illusion, because we're talking about, I guess, how we attack, how we utilize our awareness in ways that is not exactly what God's intent, or God's in accordance with God. Like it's, but hmm. I think with joy as being like a unified purpose, it's just this inherent knowing that we like it is the transient aspects of being that revolve around that center, and coming to understand that that center is inherent and innate in every single thing, and just allowing that experience to continually expand upon itself. Like I think for me right now, it's the example that's coming to my head is when I'm like straining or trying to like have some specific experience, like really like specify how, like something more like mystic, or like something more um like spiritual is supposed to feel, when it's truly like I don't know. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
don't know. Um and I only know from trial and error, I guess.
Or from being the embodiment.
Yeah, being the lighthouse, being the and sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes we really forget in the moment to just, like, we do get so enveloped in experience, but it's like anything, it's practice. It's practice of attention.
Mhm.
Yeah, attention is the rarest and most purest form of generosity, and our attention to different perceptions and um yeah, the spirited awareness within body, completely
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you said, May, like we don't know how it's supposed to feel, or
until we
should it
feel it.
feel differently until we feel it. And
Yeah.
like, and then it changes, and it's always changing. So it's just really, it comes back to just whatever happens, whatever goes. It's always changing, but that which knows, that awareness doesn't change. Not the personal awareness, not the awareing of, but just the plain awareness, which
Yeah.
is
Awareness is not an object.
no, it's just is, and not even known to itself because it is itself. So it's just, uh, yeah.
I got it. I got it. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And did you want to expand on it?
Go, Cindy.
And maybe pulled away. Oh, I'm pulled away. Sorry, I'll try to come back.
All righty. Okay, let's look at paragraph 18, because what this paragraph does, I love it. I love the way this paragraph feels, because what it says is, if you do get pulled away, if you do forget what you are, if you do attack with the body, yourself or someone else, don't allow yourself to suffer from the results of what's not true. Don't add insult to injury in a way, not because there's never been any injury. So it's saying, it's really giving us permission here to quote unquote fail, right? So don't allow yourself to suffer from the results of what is not true. Free your mind from the belief that this is possible. Free your mind from the belief in failure. Free your mind from the belief in suffering. Free your mind from the belief that there's anything that's not love. Free your mind from the complete, it says, complete impossibility of separation. And I love that. I think it's so, it's so Course in Miracles. It takes us, the Christ consciousness takes us through these three paragraphs, and then ends up and says, look, you can't fail at this. You're not the body. If you think you are, you're attacking. But guess what? You can't fail. So, Cindy, I don't know if Cindy's ready. Mel, why don't you take it away?
Oh, okay. Yeah, when they she talks about when they talk about belief, that made me think of, Helen Hamilton's comment that there's no believer. So actually, their freedom from illusions lies only in not believing, is in recognizing what you are, because there is no believer there. And it frees you too from, recognizing your thoughts don't not believe, not letting your thoughts control you, or mislead you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things I'll share that I've been really noticing a lot is um, that I am addicted to my emotions in the same way I'm addicted to food. Like I love sweets sometimes, or I love savory, and my emotions are food. They're a form of food. And I just realize how addicted I am to them. And it just came with me today with such clarity. And when I thought about it in that way, like I'm eating junk food when I go down the rabbit hole with my emotions. And it was so clear that these are not good for you. You know, this anger or this resentment or this judgment, this is not good for you. You don't need it. It was a beautiful moment of understanding.
So is it appropriate to look at that the way suddenly it's appearing to me is both sides of the coin? Yeah, don't beat yourself up for feeling that you committed it, and also don't accept it that you received it, that you've been attacked. Does
Yes.
that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. That's holiness, isn't it? That's a holy thought. Yeah. Cindy, thank you, Chuck.
It is my comment that I was going to make about purpose. Is it still valuable? I apologize. There was a need to be of service and the guidance to say yes to it, but I'm now fully present. But I don't know if it makes any sense for me to share what I was ready to share a few minutes ago.
I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're
Um, And I really just wanted to point to the fact that Kyle Cease, they were talking about it in this podcast we were going to talk about how if you identify as the worldly purpose, then you're always, well, you're always looking for more and you'll never have enough and it will do nothing but um, create increased separation. And I was sitting, I stopped the recording and I've been sitting with purpose and sitting with the purpose the way the course teaches it to me and the guides, and very clearly this, and Joel Goldsmith, the understanding is that my purpose really is not only to be the lighthouse, but to just be in this place of noticing when, when the glass is dirty or distorted and give my willingness to have it cleaned. That's my only purpose. My purpose is not to give Cindy a good life. My purpose is to step in as whatever it is the divine has in store for Cindy's life, and to allow for to keep on kinking the hose, as it were. That's the current visual. So that's my purpose. My purpose is to be a clear lighthouse, and that over and over and over again, the guides say the lighthouse simply allows the light to shine. It doesn't direct it. So that's what I was gonna say.
yeah.
Quick question, is that compatible? The only thing that really jumps at me from my experience is I was chasing purpose, but in the 12-step program, uh, we've got the purpose of helping other people, but there's a phrase in there that says our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God who knows about us. That sounds kind of close to what
Make me
Cindy was
fit.
saying to
Yeah.
me, but I don't know.
Well, there's this understanding in it. When I was making this decision as to whether or not to call the police because of what was going on in my world upstairs, the thinking mind had a lot to say um, about action in the world. And once I got really, really quiet over time, something else occurred over and over and over again. So my purpose wasn't to stop the fighting. My purpose wasn't to protect one person against the other. The purpose wasn't to have Cindy have a safe environment to live in. My purpose was to be the light in the moment. And at one point, it meant letting the fight go on. And at another point, Cindy's body moved to have a conversation with the office and with so the purpose isn't to change the world. The purpose is to provide a space to allow the higher self or the divine to flow into the world. And I don't know, I don't, it's never about the response of the other person, because there really is no other person. You don't, I don't know the bigger picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the other, when I was giving Emma the car and when I had to take it back, like, is my purpose to make sure my daughter is safe? Or it turned out there was a grander purpose in saying no at some point. Something else opened up, and I would never have known it until I followed guidance. So, all right,
So there's something in 18 that I want to just have us focus on for a second. It's the first, really, it's the first four sentence. Well, actually, it's a lot of it. So do not allow yourself to suffer from the results of what is not true. Free your mind. Free your mind from the belief that this is possible. In its complete impossibility and your full awareness of its complete impossibility lies your only hope for release. But what other hope would you want? Freedom from illusion lies only in not believing them. And that is because the whole idea of separation is a lie. It's an idea. It's just an idea, right? And then there's no attack. I'm sorry, there's no attack, but there is, emphasizing is, unlimited communication. So we are being communicated with all the time, and there's no impediment. I love Cindy's visual of unkinking the hose. It's a really great visual because when we unkink the hose, we're open to the flow of constant communication. Cindy says, many of us have been looking at the mother, father, child, grandchild relationship here. That too is part of the illusion. Chuck, did you have something you wanted to say? Okay,
No, I was just acknowledging what I was hearing.
okay. So Cindy, does your comment relate to what you were talking about?
yeah, and well, even more to what you were reading,
Yeah,
right? You were
okay.
literally reading about how the only real solution is to stop believing the illusion. That's what I heard you just say,
That's
right?
right.
And so, um, talking to Chuck earlier today, talking to others, this conversation with my sister, it's so much of like what's lighting up is how easily we go unconscious when it comes to my daughter, my grandson, my mother. Like all of a sudden that seems to be something that we're having a hard time saying, now wait a minute. The only way through this is to remember that this isn't like really stand still as the pain hits and as we feel like we have to make a decision. I have to make a decision, otherwise my grandson is going back to jail or my mother is going to be homeless or whatever the story is. It's not, but
It's,
it seems to hit us in our most vulnerable state, if that
yeah,
makes sense. So
it
that's what I
makes
was.
it makes perfect sense. And the last line in this, in paragraph 18 says, do not arrest your thought in this world, and you will open your mind to creation in God. And I think that choice of words is really interesting. Do not arrest your thought in this world. I just want to ask, what does that feel like to you to read that sentence? What is it? What does that evoke in you to use that? I mean, that's a very precise term, arrest.
It sounds to me like being in prison.
Yeah,
You know, you're in prison when in the if you're living in the belief of a separation and the world's this, yeah.
Sounds like
yeah,
kinking the hose
I'm
instead of
thinking,
being
yeah,
a conduit.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and the principle of miracles with that sentence is a miracle is a reversal of the physical order because it brings more love to the giver and the receiver. So it's kind of emphasizing, I guess we could call it an equation where it's your initial recognition of this being the foundation of miracles, I guess. Like the mechanism in which reality in the in love is built upon, I guess.
yeah. And you know that takes me to something Carol said, May, about thank you for bringing that up about certainty. And one of the things that I am certain of is that giving and receiving are the same. And that's because I've had the experience. And so the experience, that's why this course is experiential. And that's why the non-dual teachings are experiential, because the only thing that we can be certain of is our own experience. Right? Yeah. Cindy, is your hand still up or are you?
Up again. I just wanted to confess that I'm having a real physical, visceral response to what I just said in this sharing. And if I were to put words on it, I would state that what's lit up in me is where something here is feeding off of being Sarah and Emma's mom. Like something is being fed in a place where it could never be filled, and the dissolving that so that the giving and receiving comes only from God. Like I can feel the system shifting, but the egoic sense of being a mom is being hammered, right? I want to use that word because that's what it feels like right now. It almost feels like I'm killing my relationship with my children. I know it's not true because everybody is God's children, and I'm still on this planet, and God's love is going to flow through me, and I can more effectively love and support them when I'm not needing them to fulfill my need to be a mom, if that makes sense. But I really wanted to just acknowledge out loud that I feel like I'm about to cry. So
Love you,
why
Cindy.
that's why I raised my hand.
Your honesty is beautiful, um and I think we all really get what you're saying. Um, it's interesting that you use the word feeding. I'm going to suggest an experiment for anyone that wants to try it sometime if you remember it. So the next time that you find yourself feeding an uncomfortable emotion, stop and just feel what it feels like in the body to feed that, or in the body mind, the emotional body, whatever you want to call it, to feed that. And then as soon as you can let it go through, as soon as you recognize it and you stop feeding it, make a conscious choice to step back and remember in whatever way comes to you that you are love, and that don't allow yourself to suffer from the results of what is not true. And sense in your field what that feels like. You're feeding yourself another thought, another idea of love. And it is just an idea, but it has its own vibration, its own tone, its own quality, its own sort of language. So it just as an experiment, play with that and see what actually feels better. know.
And Amy, I think the more you do that, as Helen was saying, the content of the mind begins to change because you become more receptive to what's true, and it keep and open to that. I don't know. Yeah, it's a great way. The content of the mind can change in that way. Yes.
You do know. You do know. Thank you for that, Mel. Carol.
Yeah, and just on what you said, Mel, yeah, it as it opens, it it is seen differently, and that changes too. So with just all of this discussion, it just comes back to, and this last sentence, not this last sentence, but 18, the first sentence. There are absolutely no mistakes. And the worst thing is not a mistake. And that is a truth that is very, very hard to embrace and be comfortable with. But if we look at experience and what is experience and what is actually happening here, it's everything playing out to itself.
You just said something really important, though, which was as we recognize through experience that when we choose not to suffer from what is not true, it opens things up.
Okay.
And so we have that experience of, as a course says, choosing another way. And we experience that opening.
Yeah.
And,
And maybe
there's,
choose, sorry,
and
maybe
when we,
choosing another, sorry,
it's all right, no worries. Yeah, we choose another way and we say, this feels open. This feels good. Why? Because it is good.
yeah, and it may not feel good initially.
It may not.
So it comes down to I don't really know because it's all changing so much. It's just comes back to the other thing that is just now. I am now. I am with this moment as it is.
But I think the truth always is always a relief.
For me, it hasn't always been initially,
Yeah.
but that's just the way this mechanism works.
Right.
So it's like
I
I
get it.
don't even trust. It's sort of like whatever, and I'm not doing it. I can't change it anyway. So just it's sort of like just wait it out and let it be, and it just does what it does. And but are there mistakes? No.
No.
Boy, what a sounds like a horrendous thing to say with some just horrible things that seem to happen that we do to each other.
Mhm.
And yet, that's how experience happens. That's how all infinite possibilities, potentials happen and are known and are experienced. But this is a realm of separation and investigation of all that is possible.
Yes.
So it's not even a setup for a perfect, joyful perfection. So the joy is in the knowing that I'm not seeing the totality.
Okay, Carol, I'm going to ask you to see the first three paragraphs of section 7, sickness as a false witness. This thing is packed with stuff, and we only have 10 more minutes. So, actually, why don't you read the first two, and we'll see how far we get.
Okay, 6, 7. Okay.
Page 317.
Okay. Attitude. Okay. Sickness as a false witness. Attitudes toward the body are attitudes toward attack. The ego's definitions of anything are childish and are always based on what it believes a thing is for. This is because it is incapable of true generalization and equates what it sees with the function it ascribes to it. Yeah. It does not equate it with what it is. To the ego, the body is to attack with. Equating you with the body, it teaches that you are to attack with because this is what it believes. The body then is not the source of its own health. Its condition lies solely in your interpretation of its function. Keep going.
Yeah, read one more. Thank you.
The reason why definitions by function are inferior is merely because they may well be inaccurate. Functions are part of being, since they arise from it, but the relationship is not reciprocal. The whole does define the part, but the part does not define the whole. This is as true of knowledge as it is of perception. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at that first paragraph. Attitudes towards the body are attitudes towards the attack. So you can't have an attitude about something that's not real, can you? So, right? So as soon as we have an attitude about the body, we're actually believing that the body's real. We're taking it as what we are. And then it says the ego's definition of anything is childish. I find that word so great. It's childish. It doesn't say it's stupid or it's ignorant. It just says childish, right?
Mhm.
Which I think is a great word. And it's always based on what a thing is for. And this isn't because it is incapable of true generalization. Now, what do you think true generalization means? I'm going to ask Regis. Regis, how do you interpret true generalization? I don't mean to put a finger on you, and if you don't want to take that, then flick me off. But I just thought you came up on my screen. Would you be willing to share what you think true generalization means? Come on. I can't hear you.
Oh, now you can hear me.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I can't tap into true generalization with words right now.
All right. Well, thanks for being here.
All right.
Anybody else want to give it a shot?
Does it have anything to do with the whole recognize true generalization sees everything as one and not as separate parts, as being independent separate parts.
Yeah.
Recognizes, yeah, in oneness of all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would
Yeah,
be
Allison.
putting things under an umbrella of like of perception, maybe.
I like that term, umbrella. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Alice, what were you going to say?
I'm like the child is being immature and like seeing it only what it's for. Like it's only like this toy does that. It's not like what it's limited. It's particular. It's not non-expansive.
Yep.
Yeah.
True generalization means it can't see beyond itself, right? That's a childish, a child thinks that its view of things is the only view there is, right? I'm sort of surprised they didn't capitalize true generalization. I think it's a really interesting term. It equates what it sees with the function it ascribes to it. It does not equate it to what it is. Why? Because as Carol has pointed out several times in this gathering, it doesn't know what it is, right? It doesn't know. Cindy.
Yeah.
Listening to everyone, and a Kabbalah teaching that I've loved just came up, so I'm going to share it. A sage rabbi was walking and came across a young boy in the field. And the boy was in prayer position, and he just kept repeating the alphabet over and over and over again. And the rabbi asked the boy, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm praying." And the rabbi's like, "You're just repeating the alphabet." And he's just like, "Yep, God knows what to do with the letters."
Mm.
Just this, I'm just giving him the parts.
Mm.
And so when I hear true generalization, right, wrong, or the other, that's what's coming up, this understanding that it's all God. God simply is, right? And so true generalization is taking everything, for me right now, could be different, but as I was listening, it's just this understanding that everything is God. And so no matter what's going on, it can all come back to the understanding that if I'm defending or attacking, I'm defending or attacking God. If I'm frightened of God. It's like, and that sort of softens this idea of separate parts. There are no separate parts. So
Yeah.
that's what came up.
I've mentioned this a couple of times, but it really, I thought it was a hoot. Carol, Cindy recited this experience that she had this morning with this woman walking her dogs, and that she gave us this really great visual of this woman walking her dogs, and she just says, "Thank you, God." Why? And I thought that was really good. So let's see. I think what we ought to do is just stop here, and we'll start with paragraph 2. And what's I don't have my calendar here. We'll start with paragraph 2 on
The
Thursday,
25th.
the 25th. Okay. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to share? I want to say thank you. I just love these conversations. And Regis, I apologize for putting you on the spot. I just love to hear what you have to say. So I was hoping I could hear your voice, but maybe next time.
And I'm not on the spot.
When you're not on the
There is
spot.
not,
Okay.
right? Yeah, back to like I had to just hear me on this is like do not arrest your thoughts in this world. So because I was fighting with the verb arrest or but it's like trying to fix it at this level, right? Try to fix it in matter and form and not in the eternal.
That's a great point. Thank
Yeah,
you
thanks for saying that.
yeah, thank you for saying that. That's really important. Um,
And thank you for doing this, Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. All right, let's just do our closing invocation. Thank you for being here. And come, whoever you are, wanderer, fire worshiper, lover of leaving. This is not a caravan of despair. Thank you, God. Why? It's a caravan of laughter. It does not matter that you have broken your vows 1,000 times. Still come, and yet again. And we will gather again tomorrow at 10 in this space to read together the guides at 10 o'clock. And I forget where we are, but I'll know where we are tomorrow. So anyone who wishes to join us to read the guides, Paul Selig's The Guides. Carol, I think you'd really like it.
You want to turn the recording off, Amy?
Sure. Okay. Where are
And
we?
you don't officially know where we are because you weren't there last week.
That's right. That's true.
I got to go make dinner if I'm going to eat
Okay.
before my next meeting.
Okay. Well, open invitation to anyone that wants to join us here at 10 o'clock tomorrow for the guides.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me on Fridays.
Okay.
Me either.
Friday
I always
mornings.
wait for the replay.
That's true. I'd like to come to, well, yeah, my schedule is changing, so
Okay. We
I'm
also
free.
meet we meet at 3 o'clock on Mondays to listen to them together, which is always fun as well.
What's the Wednesday morning thing?
The Wednesday
Coffee
morning,
or
it's just to shoot the breeze. It's just to talk about whatever's coming up for you.
yeah. That's I'd like to do more.
Yeah. It's always
I really would here.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
Well, we would absolutely welcome you here. You would be a great addition, Carol.
And
it's the time is opening here.
And Carol has a great book study. We're doing the Perfume of Silence with Frances Lucille.
I love that book.
She leads on Fridays at noon, so that's what that makes it a little hard, but it's a great discussion.
Yeah, it's fun. Absolutely. But just to say because it really today's really pertain to it. Helen Hamilton, I think it's her most recent, it's like a 20-minute, half-hour video. And I believe it was this week that she posted it.
Was it Q&A?
No.
Okay.
It was just her chatting for about, I don't know, was it 18 minutes or half an hour?
Okay.
It was so good.
All right.
It was just such an incredible deepening of, oh my God, all of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's well worth it.
Okay.
And it just so flows with this.
Okay.
So I just have to say it because, I love Helen too. And it was like, oh my God, she never stops blowing my mind.
Yeah, no, she's really a brilliant teacher. She's so smart. And we were saying a little bit earlier that one of the things I love about her is she uses her personal experience in the same way Cindy does. Uses her personal, she's not afraid to say, I wandered in the desert for a long time. Like you don't really hear that so much from Frances or Rupert. Not really. And so I just find it personally, it's such wisdom from experience, and I really appreciate it. So,
yeah, same here. Anyway,
okay.
Thank you.
Love us. Enjoy your evening and your afternoon. We'll see you later.